Hey, what you doing? When it's time for you to go sourcing, odds are pretty good. At some point, someone's going to ask you what you're doing with that scanner. They're going to ask you what it does, how it works. Somebody's going to get curious, if not downright nosy. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I used to handle that situation and how I deal with it now. My name is Manny, and this is Manny's Book Bag. Hey everybody, I'm back with another video. Well, odds are it's probably happened to you already. You go out sourcing, you're minding your own business, you're scanning away, you're filling up carts, you're looking at books, music, DVDs, whatever your niche is. Odds are someone has come up to you and you could almost feel them. You could see them out of the corner of your eye. Oh, what you doing? So how do you handle that? I can tell you how I used to handle that.
This ain't none of your damn business. How about that?
I used to tell people that I was comparing prices online to make sure I was getting the best deal. The fact is that at that time I exercised a lot more discretion. I was pretty shy about what I was doing. And to be perfectly honest with you, even though I was trying to run a perfectly honest business, there was always this feeling almost like I was doing something wrong. Everything in my sourcing style changed when I realized that I wasn't doing anything wrong at all. So as soon as I added a scanner into my repertoire, as soon as I started getting more confidence, scanning out in the open, a couple of things in my business changed. First of all, when I lost all discretion and stopped trying to hide it, I became a much faster scanner. Not looking over my shoulder to see if that person walked away, if anybody was watching me, so that I could start scanning again. Well, that meant that I didn't have to be interrupted. I just scanned all the way through. I became much quicker, much more confident. Basically, I became better at sourcing my product. Something else that I realized was that every time that question was coming from a store employee or a store manager, what I was actually getting were really great opportunities. All of a sudden, this newfound honesty in what I was doing actually started creating some pretty amazing relationships. The managers were talking to me differently. I was speaking to them in a much more casual way. I knew them by name. There was nothing to hide. I was there buying their product, and quite honestly, I figured out very quickly which people were going to play ball with me. And that is as valuable as anything that I have ever brought out of a store, because I've gotten some amazing deals from people just by being friendly with them. I started to build trust. I started handing out business cards and shaking hands, speaking to some people above store level, like regional managers. These are all things that would have never happened to me if I insisted on hiding what I was doing. The same thing started happening at libraries. By being out in the open and letting them know that I was a dealer and I was a scanner, I was once again able to start creating these relationships and let people know that I would gladly come and pick up their discards at the end of the sale. And that led to more opportunities and more books and more CDs and just better relationships. Now, I know that's not for everybody. I know that some of you are going to insist that you just prefer to be discreet and not be so flagrant about your activities. And I think that's fine too. Everybody has to find their comfort level in this business and operate in a way that they feel happy about. But this video is for you too. I have a couple of tips that I could share with you that may actually help you get through and still be faster. First things first, if you're going to go out, you're going sourcing, and you want to avoid people coming up to you and bothering you with those questions, the first thing you should do is have the correct gear. And by gear, I mean you should be wearing earbuds or headphones. Now, trust me, it's not going to stop everybody from coming to you and asking you what you're doing. It's not quite that good. But it is going to deter the curious but polite majority that see what you're doing and want to ask, but they don't. My second tip for you is that for those individuals that are not going to be stopped from asking you what you're doing, make sure you know in advance what you're going to be telling them. At that particular moment when someone's asking you, that's not the time to improvise. Give them a short but sweet explanation for what you want to tell them you're doing, and then get right back to your business. Another tip, if you're out scanning and you got that scanner, if you can figure out what to do with your phone, it may not be a bad idea to just go ahead and put the scanner in the palm of your hand. They're small and you can hide them pretty good. And the last tip that I'm going to give you is, if you don't want to be bothered by a bunch of people asking you what you're doing, don't go to the stores when there's a lot of people. Avoid the stores during peak times. Don't go in the middle to early evening. Go early in the morning. Go later in the evening if they're open late. You're going to encounter far fewer employees, far fewer customers. That's going to give you more room to do what you need to do, more room to breathe. But here's the question of the day. How do you handle being asked that question? Do you opt to keep things a little more discreet, or do you stand out in the open and tell anyone that asks that you're a reseller? Go ahead and put in those comments below because I'm really curious. That's all for today's video, folks. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to see me make more of them, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. If you haven't liked this video yet, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to Manny's book bag, tap on that book bag right there. When you go in there, make sure you tap on that bell. That's going to give you those notifications to let you know when new videos drop. Until next time, let's go make some money.